Unfortunately, some networks don't allow their film to be used for analysis, so Boxing Gems videos get blocked on YouTube and social media. So when they block the videos, you can catch them exclusive in Boxing Gems' new channel membership or on Patreon along with all the other content. Become a channel member by clicking the join button or become a patron and don't miss a thing from Boxing Gems. Patreon link in the description. Peace. Fight fam. Styles make fights. Luckily for us, when these two styles meet, we're bound to get a hell of a match. Julio Cesar Martinez takes on the fighting legend Roman Gonzalez. Let's get straight into it. 18-1 WC World Flyweight Champion Julio Cesar Martinez hasn't lost a fight since his very first and has been dominating competition ever since. What makes Martinez such a problem is his explosiveness. Martinez starts from little to no movement, then explodes with quick, accurate, and powerful combinations. Martinez goes from literally standing, utilizing a high guard trap, then he explodes with a shuffle, pendulum step, or forward half step into an athletic stance, getting his weight on the lead foot to strike with lead hand hooks and uppercuts to the body or head, then a complete arsenal variety of follow-up punches. Martinez uses half-step foot feints for two main reasons. Of course, one is to avoid being predictable and mask his attack and keep his opponent guessing when Martinez will step in. The other is to elicit a reaction from his opponent, giving Martinez intel on how to attack and where to place his punches. After he gathers a bit of information from the op's reaction or non-reaction, this is the result.
Again, he doesn't, like most fighters, will go and touch very much in this fight. Now there's Chris Maddox, who comes in with a yellow.
Switching his attack up with the same setup, Martinez will keep the heel of his back foot raised, hidden from the opponent's sight, so he can spring into an immediate lead cross or a shorter forward half-step lead cross. What's clearly becoming a staple under trainer Eddie Reynoso, every time his champions are in a high guard, they can be considered as a high guard trap. Canelo, Valdez, and Martinez all put up the shield to bait their opponents to punch intentionally, then either block and shoot or slip counter. Martinez has very quick and intuitive head movements, so about 90% of the time you will see him slip counter with the half step, then explode with offense.
Right there was a 32, came in with that hook. Instead of the jab, he turned it into a hook and give it right back up.
Yeah, I agree. Arroyo had great moments, but now you see big power. Arroyo's down.
0.4 pounds, 5.5.
That type of punch, that's going to change the outcome of this fight. It's a good point. Gonzalez is Gonzalez is getting broken down quite a bit.
Martinez is known to switch hit or frequently switch stances. He normally steps southpaw to change the look and potentially cause his opponent's confusion. At his best, he's switching stances to defend in a unique way and be in position to counter, or he's switching stances mid-attack, creating awkward angles and surprising opponents with his new positioning.
A bit with his shots, and Cordova quite the opposite, looking very relaxed and was smiling in there at times.
Jab, but he's always looking for the big shots to the head and to the body. The good hook.
At his worst, Martinez is switching stances and punching range and paying the price for it.
Gonzalez back. Final 30 seconds of round number 3. Action-packed every 10-second stand-up.
Oh, this is heating up here in round 1.
Yeah, that right hand got the attention of Martinez.
And down goes the
While Julio's explosiveness may be the best part of his game, of course it has all kinds of risks and leaves all kinds of openings if the opponent has good enough timing or is brave enough to punch with Martinez to capitalize. The extension of combinations leaves Martinez in 50-50 exchanges where he hasn't always come out on top.
Can McWilliams Arroyo do? He's seconds away from greatness, coming with another right hand.
Martinez is usually the one doing the punching.
McWilliams Arroyo is catching Martinez when he lets his hands go. He is timing these shots.
Gets back into the fold.
And look at that combination. I mean, that came from...
Martinez too. Look at that. He is creative in there as well. Using his imagination, using his skills, and you never see anybody fight the way he fights. Fights like this. I haven't seen anybody fight like this.
I know fighters that fight comfortably both sides, but he does it in between the action. That's just hard to stop.
It's part of his fluid attack is that he is driving forward and he'll switch either way depending on where the openings are.
Julio's jab is considered a lazy jab. He tends to throw a single jab at mid-range out the high guard, and from whatever distance, his jab never comes back home to his chin, which inevitably leaves the opening for a backhand counter.
To stay in it.
Right here, you're going to see Jay Harris got some really good shots. I mean, this is prelude to what's to come down the line. That was a good right hand.
The high guard trap is a main staple of Julio's game. However, it's constant. There's a difference between fighters who change up guards and utilize the high guard trap as a tool from time to time and the ones who have constant high guards. You're not going to be able to slip counter every single punch your opponent throws, so in many exchanges you will be reliant on the high shields for defense. As I've said more than a few times in the past, the high guard has many holes. Martinez ends up stuck in a relatively inactive high guard, so those holes get exploited.
But he is able to land as well. And now he lands again. Says so much. Look at Jay.
Chris going right after Martinez. Not backing down with the right. He's having fun in there.
Besides when he throws the jab or the cross, while initiating offense or counterpunching, Martinez tends to use the exact same movements as you might have noticed already. Rewinding back to the beginning, Martinez tends to literally stand in front of his opponent in the high guard. Then regardless if he's slipping a punch, he uses the front half step to sit down in the athletic stance and load his lead hand. As athletic as Julio's quick twitch movement is, the repetitiveness along with the extra time it takes to get set instead of staying set leaves opportunity for his opponents. When Martinez does slip a punch against his orthodox opponents, it's always a jab that the high guard trap tends to entice, and the slip is virtually always an inside slip. On top of that, Martinez tends to drop both his hands as he punches and his chin is exposed. A jab or a jab feint that purposely triggers the repeated pattern to capitalize on its flaws with the backhand could lead to a short night for the champion. In the Magsayo vs. Russell breakdown, I noted how Magsayo took breaks by triangle stepping straight back and bounced on his toes before he reset. But Martinez does the same thing to a lesser degree. Martinez can easily be followed out with offense like Magsayo, and at the very least, an aggressive opponent won't allow you those breaks, which could add to the physical and mental pressure of a fight. And unfortunately for Martinez, with this upcoming opponent, you could bet your bottom dollar on it. With the outstanding professional record of 50 wins to only 3 losses, it's the former 4-weight division fighting legend, Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. Roman Gonzalez is all about relentless pressure. For a comparison, the last full 12-round fight Martinez was in, he threw 655 punches. In Roman's last fight versus Strada, Roman threw 1,317 punches, more than doubling the younger fighter's punch output with the 7-year age gap. Roman definitely likes punches and bunches, but he tends to throw his combinations intelligently, especially on the inside, where Roman has always been arguably the best in the world. Whether it's just probing the hook on the guard to open up the uppercut up the middle, sending the uppercut up the middle to close the guard, high to open the hook to the body, Roman forces the openings and places his shots like a surgeon.
Then come right back to the left again with the left body shot.
Whether outside or mid-range, set up with the jab, leading, or a counterpunch, Roman has a well-timed and well-placed backhand cross.
No, está
Pressing the issue here. Nice.
Good action here, Chocolatito.
mano al cuerpo, pero bueno.
Esa derecha, fíjate.
Came to fight.
La foto del combate, de un combate aquí, pero
El gallo y este.
ha sido la primera.
Should the corner be concerned, but it looks like
Oh, down goes Yafai! The signature right hand from Chocolatito.
As opponents attempt to reverse straight out, Roman shuffles into a slight leaping punch with his lead hand, typically a Hagler-esque leaping jab or a leaping lead hand hook.
Here we see Yafai getting caught with a left hook, pulling out.
Offensively, the brilliance of Roman's inside game are the smart combinations combined with the angles he creates with his footwork. Roman uses dynamic footwork to get around to his opponent's weak side or behind the lead hand shoulder, then attacks from the new advantageous angles.
Could be Yafai again. It's already happened once. Yafai is sound defensively. Keeps those hands down low. Looks like I got hit there, though.
And you could see Chocolatito had no interest in getting tied up there. He wants to keep
In angles, just like that right there. He's being lured into a fight. I think he's heading
He
towards a
wants
fight.
it. Chocolatito digs to the bottom.
He just doesn't have enough output, sir.
Cal Yafai will still have a big say in that. Beautiful combination by Chocolatito. Because Chocolatito is good doing this. This is where his best chance to win comes.
Defensively, unlike Martinez, Roman utilizes an active high guard, which basically means it moves and reacts to the punches being thrown. An active high guard eliminates some of the inherent openings and flaws of a regular high guard. Combined with the active high guard, Roman has excellent head movement, which improves the defensive system even more. However, it's still a high guard. Even with an active high guard, your shields can be feinted or probed out of position, leaving openings, and obviously hand speed is his enemy. Depending on the range, no one has the reflexes to react as fast as a fighter with good hand speed that throws punches and combinations on the inside or mid-range. And unfortunately for Roman, Martinez is one of those opponents. Throwing 1,317 punches means your opponent has 1,317 openings. Every punch you throw leaves some kind of opening somewhere.
How do you have it scored, Chris? Or to a lesser extent, Bernard Hopkins will.
Thrown and landed. But the punches hurt a little bit more when they're coming from Chocolatito. Just incredible for the 33-year-old junior.
See, this is what
Roman Gonzalez has 3 losses in 53 fights. One of those losses was his last fight, where he lost a very controversial decision. The other 2 were a majority decision and a knockout from one high-level southpaw, and forgive me, I don't want to butcher the name. At a certain level, the open stance gave Roman a lot of trouble. Now, Martinez is a switch hitter, but he hasn't proven to be the type that can win a high-level fight strictly from the southpaw stance, but the possibility is there. This was going to be a hell of a fight. I'll make a prediction and sportsbook bet video after the weigh-in just in case we hear or see something that'll affect the outcome. But I want to know who y'all got. As always, thanks for watching. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Peace.